Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Kelsey Yogi here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today we are going to do a leg workout, all about the legs, not so much the calves, but really the upper legs, hips, and the glutes a little bit too. So let's just go ahead, jump in, get started right away. We're gonna go ahead and start with reverse lunges. I got 30 seconds set. So right leg back behind. We're gonna just tap the knee down and then draw it in towards the belly. You can have your hands on your hips or out in front of you, whatever you need. Timer is set. Let's do it. You want to try to drop the knee almost to the ground or even tap the ground. That way you know you're getting a nice deep lunge. And then activate the abs, the core, as you pull that knee in towards the belly. That's 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So now right foot in front, left foot back behind you. Timer is going. So jump right in. You may notice right away that one side's a little bit easier, and that's typical that we have one leg that's stronger than the other. Also typical that we have one hip that's a bit more mobile and one that's a bit more tight. So no worries, that's totally normal. And there's your minute. All right, so the next one we're gonna do are curtsy lunges. So a little different than the other lunge. We're gonna have one knee come back behind the other and then kick it out to the side. So right leg behind left and then kick. Up to you how deep you want that curtsy to be. Obviously the deeper the curtsy, the more work, the higher the kick, the more flexibility. So let's just go ahead and start. I'm gonna balance on my left and use my right for the work, all right? Here we go. Curtsy and kick. Now balance is obviously a bit of an issue on this one, so feel free to tap that foot down, get your balance before you kick back up. Last one. Woo. All right, second side. Now we're balancing on the right, making the left do the work. Let's do it. Timer's going, curtsy and kick. Don't worry if you wobble or if you fall. I'm gonna be right there with you. The point is that we get those muscles working and active. Balance will come. And then it will go. And then it will come again. So ride those waves. There's the timer. That was it for our curtsy lunges. The next one we're gonna do is a standing donkey kick. So I'm gonna balance on my left. You could always use the wall. Just a little fingertips if you need that. And we're gonna pull the knee in, open to the side, kick it back behind. So front, side, behind. All right? Here's our 30 seconds. Let's go. Up, over, behind. So even though we're working the right leg, seriously, just balancing on the left is awesome too for working the legs. So they're both being challenged here. And we've done this a lot in a kneeling position. It definitely takes things to another level when you have to stand. There's your 30 seconds. Let's just get that other leg done and going. All right, balancing on the right, using the left. In, out, let's do it. Behind, keep going. Front, side, behind. It really helps. Something that we do a lot in yoga is we find our drishti. So our drishti is our focal spot. It's where you lock your eyes. So even though I may be staring, at this little wood plant stand, really my focus is internal. But having that drishti, having that focal spot definitely helps stay a little bit more focused, a little more balanced. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna move down to our belly, to our side, excuse me. I'm gonna start with the right side. I'm gonna rest on my forearm, my elbow, and my wrist, resting on the right hip. And then I'm just gonna use the left leg for a little bit of balance. I'm working the lower leg, which is the right leg. First thing we're gonna do is just flex the foot and lift, all right? So 30 seconds is set and lift. So if you really don't like this flexed foot that feels awful, you can point the toe. For me, I find a flexed foot is a bit more challenging, a bit more engaging. But try both, see what really floats your boat. You only need to lift about 10, 12 inches. Shoot, if you only lifted 3 or 4 inches, you're still doing it. So just do what you can do. Couple seconds left. Very good. Press that leg for just a moment. Now we are going to make clockwise motion circles with that right leg. All right, here we go, 30 seconds. So just clockwise, little circles, only about the size of a school clock, 10 inches or something. You want to hover it just over the ground. And you know, since we're doing clockwise, the next will be counterclockwise. So this one is definitely giving that burn. Which is perfect, that's what we're here for. All right, rest it for just a second. Literally, and here we go, we got counterclockwise circles. Let's do it. So now going in the opposite direction. Little circles. I like pointing the toe here, just getting as long as you can through the leg. Nice. Hang in there, almost done, 2 seconds. And rest it down. All right, now we're gonna bend the knees just gently and stack them. And with the knees bent, I'm going to tap the knees, tap the ankles. Knees, ankles. All right, let's do it. Knee, ankle. Can feel a little awkward doing this one at first. Like the knees don't always like to touch that easily. It gets better. Guys are doing great. Getting those legs strong and toned. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. So coming onto the left elbow, left hip. And we'll do those same 4 exercises again, starting with just lifting that lower leg, you know, that 10 inches or so. So plant the right foot for a little balance, or the right balls of the toes, and we're just gonna lift that left leg. Here we go. Remember, this is the one where I like to flex the foot, and I'm like reaching through the heel. This would be great to do with a pair of ankle weights. You know, so if you like this video and you felt a really good burn the next day, and you're like, oh, that was awesome, I'm gonna see if I can really up level that. Add some ankle weights, see how that feels. Start small, always starting with like 1 or 2 pounds before you go to something crazy. And there's the timer, rest it for just a moment. We're gonna start with counterclockwise circles, and let's get it going. All right, little backward circles. This leg is not as coordinated as the other leg, which is common. I'm right-handed, so I'm typically right-legged as well. That leg tends to be, you know, the starter leg, the one that I start running off of, the one that I jump off of. So the left leg's a little bit more behind the times. No worries, that stuff comes. Rest it for just a moment. And then we gotta do those clockwise circles as well. So let's do it. Making circles in the opposite direction. Think about hugging all those muscles in towards the bones, quads towards hamstrings, Hamstrings towards quads, calves pulling towards the bones. You get the idea. Get everything involved and active here. And rest it down. Now we got those knee and ankle taps. So bending the knees gently, and then knee, toes, here we goes. Knee, and then ankle. Always keeping your breath smooth and steady, even when things may feel a little challenging at times, hard, frustrating. Super important that you keep your breath smooth and steady. Keeps your mind smooth and steady. Almost there. Good job. All right, so let's keep going, guys. We're moving into our bridges. So for these bridges, coming onto your back, a little tuck of the shoulder blades, just to protect your cervical spine. You want your feet, about hips width. Toes can slightly face out, or you can keep them parallel. That's really up to you and the health of your hips and your knees. So just do what feels best to you there. And then you're just gonna bridge up, open wide, bridge back to parallel, back down. So up, open, together-ish, and back down. So when I say together, I just mean hips, or knees, hips width, all right? Here's the 30 seconds, so let's do it. So up, open, parallel, down. Make sure that the whole time that your hips are lifted in the air, your glutes are squeezing, really, really active. And then, just as important, please rest them at the bottom. That way, they're really able to engage fully the next time that you lift back up. I love doing these glute bridges. There's the timer. I think getting the glutes strong is so important for your back health. All right, so we're moving through a couple more bridge postures. This next one is gonna be single leg. So I like to start with the right leg. So left leg will be down for balance, and we're just gonna lift the right leg up and down. So right up, and then hover. Alrighty, here's our timer. Let's do it. Lift it up, right leg lifts, lower, lift, and lower. This one's gonna be working the core, the glutes, the legs, your patience, all of it. So really pressing that left foot, the heel, the ball of the toe, pressing it down into the earth, into the floor, really using the strength of that left leg, those left glutes. There's the timer. Let's just switch sides. So right foot down, bridge up, lift that left leg, and here we go. Staying strong through that right foot this time. Push against the ground. Try to keep your right knee in line with your right hip. You don't want it to flare out. Pointing those left toes so you can really get long through the legs. You're doing great. Keep it up. Nice. Very good. All right, so we're almost done with our bridges. Let's just do one more. And for this next one, we are just going to do very low bridges. So if you worked with me before, you've done these, we're just going to, so what you do is you bridge up, roll down through the spine so that your low back touches the floor, but not your butt. And then you just pulse the hips up off the ground. Totally sounds like it should be easy, and man, it's a booty killer. So let's put the timer on, bridge up, and then we'll all lower back down through the spine, low back touches so that you tuck your navel in, glutes don't touch, and let's pulse it. I feel like there should be like a Cardi B song playing in the background for this one. Definitely, I feel it through the quads, through the glutes, all the muscles that help support the knee. Few more seconds, hang in there, keep pulsing, keep that squeeze, you got it. go, and there's the timer. Go ahead and rest it down. Maybe a little glute stretch out if you need that. Pull the knees in, just stretching out the muscles of the butt, of your glutes, really lengthening them now instead of keeping them so contracted. We got a little bit more work to do. So we did our standing stuff, and then we went down onto our side and onto our back, and now we're back up to standing again. All right, so now we are going to use a yoga posture called goddess pose. So with goddess pose, your legs are a little bit wide, and you're going to have the toes face outward, heels come in, and then you're gonna bend the knees so that your knees come over your ankles. Woo, got a little wobbly there. Gotta drink my water. All right, so you can have your arms in cactus branches if you want, or you can rest your hands on your knees, and we're just gonna pulse. So this may look really easy, and then you're gonna be like, oh my God, Kelsey, why? Why do you do this to us? All right, here we go, 30 seconds is set. Bend the knees and let's pulse. So very easy in this posture to kind of let your pelvic floor fall away from you. Instead, really think about drawing that pelvic floor up and in. See, are you feeling it? 5 more seconds. Almost there. There's your timer. Straighten the legs for a moment. All right, we got a little bit more goddess pose work that we're gonna do. So we're gonna come into this goddess pose. We're gonna lift the left heel, lift the right heel, lift both. Left, right, and both. Alrighty, so get your feet underneath you really good so you feel balanced. And let's just jump in. Here we go. Left, right, both. Left, right, and both. There you go. Nicely done. Halfway. I know this one's a bugger. Almost. Finish this one up. Woo! That was some serious thigh burn. Very good. All right, so one more thing that we're going to do in goddess, and we're gonna be kind of going in a circle. So I'm gonna come to the top of my mat. You can go into whatever space you have, and all we're gonna do is squat, goddess, squat, goddess, and then reverse that. The other way, open, and sit low, back to center, and then keep going the opposite way, left, then right. You get the idea. And if you're not sitting low, you're not gonna feel much. So really sitting down into the heels, pretend that there's that chair behind you, sit into it, feel it. All right, here is our timer. I'm gonna go left first. So left, goddess, back to squat, back to goddess, in the opposite way. Squat in the front, goddess, another squat, and open. Reverse that. Left. Not sure why my arms are doing this. I could have kept them on my hips. Almost there. Let's just pulse till the end. I knew we didn't have time to get all the way around again. All right, very good, you guys. The next thing that we have up is another bugger, so I'm definitely finishing things up really tough. And this is called a hinge. So what we are going to do is just start on our knees. You want the knees to be hips width. Now you can tuck the toes underneath you if you'd like. I'm gonna point the toes back behind me. You're really gonna have to tuck your pelvis underneath you, so you don't wanna have that duck butt. You wanna stick your butt out. You wanna tuck it underneath you. Activate your abs, activate your glutes. And either with your hands on your hips, we're gonna hinge back and come forward, or you can reach your hands out in front of you. Up to you, all right? So let's get these hinges in. They're really tough, super, really strong for the quads, super, really strong. All right, let's do it. 30 seconds is going, and let's hinge. Remember, keep that pelvis, keep your tail tucked underneath you. So think about a dog being nervous, how they tuck their tail underneath them. That is what you are doing right now. Pull your belly button towards your spine as you lean back. If you feel like you're off balance, reach. All right, there you go. That was your timer. Whew. So we got just 2 more left. The next one we're gonna do are squat side walks. I think they've been called monster walks too. So we're just gonna start, in your little space. If you have a yoga mat, or maybe only 4 or 5 feet, and we're just gonna sit low and side walk. And back the other way. Make sure that you are sitting low. If you're not sitting low, you're really not gonna feel much, all right? 30 seconds is set, and let's do it. Keep your chest lifted though. Try not to round your upper back, but sit up nice and tall. I know these are kind of weird looking, but if you're sitting low, if you're squatting low, you're definitely gonna feel it. So feel like you're sitting into the heels. Activating the glutes. Belly button pulling in. Last one. All right, and done. Whew. All right, so we've got one more. And the last one that we're going to do is another really tough one. So it's Malasana squat. So in yoga, this is a yogi squat. Squatting down low, toes out, heels in, knees open wide. A really nice way to just kind of open up the hips. But we are going to take it, and just like with those goddesses, we're gonna pulse. And this is seriously one of those like leg burners for me. Hopefully it's easier for you. So we're gonna sit low. If you're on the balls of the toes already, you're just gonna have to maybe use the fingers for balance, and that's okay, but really the work is coming from the legs. So let's just get that 30 seconds going, get this bugger done. Here we go. So you can have your hands out to kind of brace for balance, or have them at your heart. Very yogi, up to you. These are so tough though, so just breathe through. 10 seconds left. Woo. 5. Last 2. Oh God. Straighten out the legs, shake them out. I love a good shake. I think it's such a nice way to help the muscles to release when they've been working so hard. Let's give them a quick little stretch. So I know this workout was really about strengthening the legs, but sometimes if you don't stretch them out afterwards, you get a really nasty Charlie horse, feel really, really tight and sore the next day that you don't even want to work out or move again. So if you're still shaking, awesome. Let's move into a little stretch. So I'm going to come up onto my knees. This is a great way to stretch out the quads. I'm going to bring the knees together-ish and open up the feet. And then I'm going to sit down right between my heels. So in yoga, this is Virasana, hero's pose. Now this can be really, really intense for some people. And if it's super intense for you, bring your feet together and either sit on your heels with your toes pointed back, or tuck your toes underneath you, sit up all the way on the heels. All right, so I know everybody's gonna be in different places with that, but just kind of settle in. Now if this is super, super easy for you, and it used to be really easy for me, and then I neglected it for a long time and it got much harder. So, we're all in different places, but if it's easy for you, maybe walk your hands back and lean away for a bit more of a quad stretch. Or you can always lean your hands forward, and this stretches the tendons and the ligaments around the knees, the ACL, the MCL. So leaning forward is way different than leaning backward. Play with it, and where you feel that intensity, hang out there. Hang out with the intensity and breathe through it. Very nice. All right, so after you've been here long enough, you felt a little stretch, maybe you want to pause the video and stay here longer, but I have a couple more stretches to do, so let's move through. We're going to sit down. I'm going to do Janu Shasana, so it's just a single leg stretch, bringing one ankle in towards the center of the body and then folding over the straight leg. So really, inhale, lengthen, Exhale, fold. I really like to flex the foot when you're in these kinds of stretches, because if you point the toe, what you're doing is lengthening the leg, yes, but you are taking the calf out of it, you're taking the quads out of it, you're taking part of the hamstring out. So we want the entire leg engaged and not just asking all of this stretch to come from the hamstring. So flexing the foot and then folding over with a long spine, low belly pulling in, reaching with your chin or your heart. I know that for some of you, the stretching is like, I really don't want to do that part, Kelsey, but that might be all the more reason that you need to. Let's inhale and come up through center and switch legs. So bringing the left leg in, straightening out the right. And you may notice right away that there's a huge difference from side to side. Sort of turning your chest over that right leg. You can't exactly, I can't square myself over my right leg with my left leg up the side like this, but just sort of turning, pulling that belly in, and then folding. I'm telling you, it will make such a difference if you commit to the stretching as well as the strength. And I know, especially for some of you that may be younger than I'm almost 40, and I used to think too, like, who needs the stretches? It's just not that important, but you're much more prone to injury if you don't strengthen, and also if you don't stretch. They're both so important. Life is a balance, and we need strength, and we need rest, and we need to get, you know, our muscles engaged, and then we need to lengthen them. So try to be there for all of that, even if it's not your favorite. Let's come up through center, inhaling, maybe a little butterfly stretch, also called Baddha Konasana in yoga. So bringing the soles of the feet together. Something really interesting to think about. It's one of my favorite cues for butterfly stretch. So everybody wants to just shove their knees down, and I cringe every time. Please don't do that. It's not nice to your knees. Instead, what I'd rather have you do is take your feet and peel them open. Now, did you see how that happened? Once you peel your feet open, pinky toes stay together, big toes open up like a book. And as I peel my feet open, look, my knees naturally come down without any physical force from me. And it's because as you open up your feet, you're opening up the hips, and that's really what we're going for. We want the hips to open here. We don't want to stress the knees. Knees are one of those things, I mean, we use them for everything. And when you heal, or when you injure them, they heal really, really slow. So always be good to your knees. Let's come up through center. One more stretch, the sister pose of that butterfly, just a wide-legged forward fold. So we're all gonna be different places here too. Flex the feet back towards the face. I know you wanna point the toes, but do me a favor, try it my way. See if in a couple of months you start going, okay, yeah, that, you know, that might kind of work. So toes point back towards the face, suck that low belly in, reach with your chest. Now either you can bring the forearms down, and this is perfect, or maybe you wanna grab the sides of your feet, reach with your chest. Everybody be where you need to be in your wide-legged forward fold. And let's come back up through center, helping yourself back up, bringing your legs together. And there you have it, a little stretch out after a super great leg workout. You guys did so good today in that leg sculpt. I'm very proud of you. Make sure that you drink your water. You don't want to get dizzy, have a headache, any of that kind of nonsense. Make sure that you share this video on your social media if you don't mind. Get your friends working out with you, because sharing is caring, and we always do better when we have friends hanging out with us, doing the same kind of thing. We grow together when we all do these kinds of things, when we work out together, when we encourage each other, when we support each other. It's the best. Make sure that you give me a like, that way you can find this video again. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm uploading about twice a week these days, so I'm always uploading. I love working out with you guys. Have an amazing day. Take care. Drink your water. Support each other. Namaste.